days to reflect on Cardiff, and I think after the madness died down, people really were able to appreciate that what a big achievement it was. But when you look at that game as a whole, what have you taken from it that you can learn for this week?
Yeah, look, you move on quickly to the next game, and as a group, you want to first of all build on the positives, but then look to see if there's any things we need to change. I think the first 40, 45 minutes was one of the best halves of rugby, and it's like more than a half than I've seen from this team. And to do it in your first game, to be so cohesive, efficient in our game, physical as well, that was really encouraging. The period after that gives us an opportunity at the time to test ourselves where we are as a group when the momentum goes in the opposition's favour. Also, a few things what we do when we're a man down, which we were for 20 minutes. They're crucial learnings you don't really want to get, because when you're a man down for 20 minutes, it tends to lead to a defeat. But that'll be of real benefit for us. And to see the last 10 minutes through was excellent too. The physical capacity, the togetherness in that last 10 minutes to control the game and almost get that fourth try would have been even better. But it was a real positive end to a tricky period in the game.
What did you take from France's opening game? Clearly, they'll maybe be hurting and looking to make a statement when they come here on the weekend.
Yeah, they were up against a really good Irish team, and they were down a man for the majority of the game as well. So I think when you play the top teams in the world with a man down, it's going to be really tough. But Ireland looked very cohesive. That game that has produced so many victories for them, they were able to deliver that in a tough environment against a physical French side, but they just kept on task. So I think from the French perspective, they know that they didn't play their best rugby, so we'll get a reaction from that. We would imagine we'll get a reaction from that performance, but they were a man down for most of that game, so they'll take encouragement that with 15 on the field, they came back even with 14 in the field at one stage, but they know that, and we know they're a quality team, still a top 3-4 team in the world.
What is it about this 15 and 23 that you're sending out that you think can get the job done? Obviously a couple of enforced changes, but talk us through your selection.
Yeah, well, look, the positive in terms of the injuries we picked up are that we've got two players in those positions who weren't available last week. One being our co-captain, Rory Darge, coming back into the squad. Another in Grant Gilchrist, who's an experienced player, has captained the team in the past. Now he's available. So it is a blow to lose Richie and Luke. Richie's been really good for us the last 2 years. Started the game well, put a lot of pressure on Wales' line out. And I thought Luke has been outstanding this season and showed that in his performance. So it is a blow losing them, but the players coming in are quality replacements. And I feel they can add their own strengths to our game this week. Grant has played against France a number of times. Rory was one of our best players on the field in Saint Etienne in the summer, the week before he came off the bench and helped win us that game when we were a man down for most of the second half. So both these players I feel can perform well against France.
Jamie Ritchie in the 23, can I just confirm that's not injury related, that's just...
No, just selection. And once we knew that Luke was going to be ruled out and Rory was available, we had a good look at the back row and what the best blend would be. And we've gone with that Glasgow back row, the cohesion that they have, knowing each other's games, but probably most importantly, the blend that they have. Rory's an out-and-out 7 who can carry the ball well. He's got an all-round game, but we feel the carrying strengths of Matt and Jack give us a better mix this week. And Andy was close to starting the week before. He's been in really good form, but we feel off the bench he can cover all three positions and add to our carrying as well.
You said to Jamie, because he's going from being your captain at the World Cup, pretty indispensable, to now not getting it in this 23. It's you've got great competition, but his position within the squad seems to have changed quite dramatically.
Well, it has in a week, but he was vice captain last week. He was part of a very good performance in that first 45 minutes. And he helped Finn with his leadership, really helped the team during the week and played well. I felt that he wasn't able to get his strengths out because of the way the game was being refereed on our side. Wales managed to get a number of penalties around the tackle area. We weren't getting any. So I'm sure Jamie would have had a bigger influence in the game if the game had been refereed differently. But it's really just a blend this week off the back row. Jamie responded outstandingly well as a person, as a teammate, but also in the way he's trained and played in the last couple of games. He'll be in the mix again for our next game against England.
Fourth time Scotland and France have played in a year. Do these two teams know each other inside out?
Yeah, we'll know them as well as any team we come up against. Yeah, I was thinking three times, but obviously the fourth time more than a year. Yeah, in the past we would have looked at France through, I suppose, Finn's experience of playing France. Peter de Villiers is ex-France player in our coaching staff, and my own experiences. But now all our players are very aware of what they're capable of, the game plan they like to go to, and the opportunities that we have. We've had some cracking games with them in the last 12 months, and we'll have to be at our best level physically, defence, contact area, because they've got a lot of jacklers in their team. But we know it could be an open game. We do have one eye on the weather, but the games we played in the past with them have opened up, which suits the strengths of our players.
How different a prospect are they without Dupont?
Well, he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, so you're going to miss him. He's a captain. He is very good very good defensively and in attack. He really plays, or his strengths suit the way they play, which is trying to play off transitions, pick and goes through the forwards, getting offloads away to scrum half. So yeah, he's been a big part of their success, but they have more strength and depth than any team in World Rugby. And at scrum half in particular, you've got a quality player in Luku, and on the bench too, forgot his name, but you know who I mean, Lagaric. Lagaric has been in really good form, and he really adds pace too. So both the nines they've got are top quality players.
Gregor, can you talk again about Rory Darge? When was the first time you saw him that you thought, God, this guy can make it?
Well, we're outside Oriam, and I'm not going to say I saw him at training and thought he would make it, but we invited him in to train during the Six Nations, must have been 3 years ago now, because he wasn't getting game time at Edinburgh, and we brought a couple of guys in from Edinburgh. And I'd heard lots of positive things about Rory. He'd played at Melrose, he'd came through, obviously, the under-18s, under-20s, saw him play well for the under-20s. But it wasn't until you're close to someone, you're watching them train, you think, oh, he can handle himself in a session where he's not played a game for Edinburgh yet, but he's up against test players. So at the end of that season, Danny Wilson was at Glasgow, and we were chatting, saying, like, this guy's looked really good. They were short of a back row. And then Rory moved across to Glasgow, and I think won man of the match in 2 of his first 3 games. So that was he looks capable of handling himself physically, but it wasn't until Rory got the opportunity to show what he could do that then you start to go, he's got the potential to be a test player pretty quickly.
People talk about his all-round strengths, but his consistency, that he can bring his all-round strengths nearly every single time, which is kind of unusual for a young, he's still young.
Yeah, just the way he's so committed. And to do that, you have to train that way, and he does. He's physical in training. He works hard on his skills. He has to improve. Really committed in the gym. Like physically, he's up there with some of the other back rows he'll go up against from other nations. He's got a real unusual way of carrying the ball, which means that he can slip through tackles. The defence really have to finish off a tackle on him, or he'll just keep on going. and his ability over the ball in defence is up there with the best in the world. He's so clean and efficient, and I imagine the referees know that if he's on ball, he's done it the right way.
And he's just finally for me, he's co-captain, but the impression I get from him, whether it's right or wrong, is that he's kind of fairly quiet character. He's not a really gregarious guy, is he?
Yes and no. He's got a really good tone of voice when he speaks to the players. He's confident when he talks. He's only came into the leadership group in the last 12 months, but he will put over his opinion. But he is a leader by example. So the captaincy that he'll deliver, or his leadership he'll deliver at the weekend, will be more about how tough he is with carrying ball, with tackling, with going for ball, and then making the points that are needed to be made. Probably more around the defensive side of it, the forwards, which will allow Finn to focus on the attack more. All good?